Hey everybody, welcome to the Billy Rickman Show. Today I have Caitlyn Menzel. She is the Summit Salon Coach, and I first got introduced to Caitlyn when she told me she made $50,000 in a single day. Since then, Caitlyn and I have known each other for a couple of years. She has some amazing success stories to share and some great business strategies that you can use in your business today. Stay tuned, this is the Billy Rickman Show. Hey everybody, welcome to the Billy Rickman Show today. Special guest all the way from Geelong. We just had this conversation about Geelong. I just got educated on the future of Geelong.
Awesome in Geelong, okay?
It is awesome in Geelong, apparently. I'm going to have to get over there and check it out. Her name is Caitlyn Menzel. She is the Summit Salon Coach, a force to be reckoned with in the industry, and she is making some massive waves and doing some amazing things. Welcome to the show, Caitlyn.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hello. So, Caitlyn, you came into my life. I've told this story a couple of times whenever we've spoken, but you came into my life because we were in a coaching program together, and I didn't know you. You didn't know me. I think I'd only just joined, and I saw this Facebook post come up, and it said, "Just made $50,000 in the last 24 hours. Not bad for being sick." And I was like, "Whoa, who is this girl?" And to me at the time, I was just getting into the coaching and sort of, service providing sort of industry in terms of mentorship and whatnot. And so I really had no concept of numbers. And then when I saw that post come up, I was like, "All right, cool. This is awesome." And and I don't even think at the time we started talking. I think it was much later on. I did an interview with you, right, on a way earlier podcast.
Yeah,
And I
definitely.
mentioned this to you, and then we started talking about it, and you told me what was going on. So, and I think from there we started to
We're
connect.
naturally drawn to each other, really. Like, it's, anyone who came into that group that was hairdressing background, beauty background, something like that, you kind of naturally stick to each other. I don't know what it is. I think it's much more about community than competition these days. Hey, essentially, we do the same thing. We teach different stuff, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and you have a totally different background. You have predominantly hair, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
tell me a little bit, not just me, but because I feel like I know pretty much. Well, I know a lot about you now. I won't say everything, but I know a lot about you now. For everybody who's listening on YouTube, anyone who's listening on the podcast, tell us a little bit about you, your background, where you come from.
Yeah, cool. Joined the hairdressing industry in 2004. I was 14. I left school in 2005 to start my apprenticeship. So fast forward a couple of years, bought my first salon when I was 19, bought my second salon when I was 22, and opened my barbershop last year. So I've still got a salon and a barbershop. I don't work in either. I now work full time as a business coach, which I've done for the past 3 years. So yeah, it's really good. So I work with hair and beauty salon owners from all over Australia and got some in New Zealand, US, and South Africa as well. So spreading out slowly. It's good.
Very cool. Like that was the. You know what? You are such a high energy, talkative person, and it's the shortest period of time. It's the shortest amount of actual speech I've ever heard come out of your mouth, and it's just interesting. It was when you're describing the successes you've had. It's like it's the shortest, sharpest sentence ever from Caitlyn Menzel, when it should be the longest because you should be boasting about all your successes because you have had a lot, right? You have had a lot of success. Recently got inducted into the Hall of Fame for the Geelong Business.
Yep.
What's the exact title?
So it's the Geelong Business Excellence Awards. It's a massive thing down here. Basically, I think they have over like 900 entries. It's grueling. So you have got to write like a 2,500 word entry, which sounds easy, but it's actually not, because trying to cut down to 2,500 words is crazy. You've got to cover certain criteria. They actually come out to your business and interview you as well. But yeah, it's a really massive thing down here. So my salon has won 3 years in a row. My coaching business was a finalist last year, which was awesome. I won Young Entrepreneur of the Year last year in Small Business Awards and the Business Excellence Awards. And then, so got inducted to the Hall of Fame this year, which is pretty awesome. It's a big achievement down here. So super proud.
Very cool. Very cool. So what gives you the right to talk about coaching? Sound like such a like confronting statement.
Wow.
And I didn't even sugarcoat it. I didn't even like go, this is what I mean by that. No, what gives you the right, Caitlyn?
Look, it was a couple of years ago. I just honestly, I woke up one day and decided I just didn't want to be hairdressing anymore. I think once you get past that staff size of sort of 5, 6 people, it becomes really hard to manage a business and work on the floor and do all the things that you need to do. But I just fell into it. I had a lot of people asking me how I do it, how I manage a team, how we still profit, how I don't work in my salon at all of those things. So I kind of just grew into it. I've always naturally been a teacher and a leader. And yeah, it's just kind of something that happened. And I thought, I'm going to turn this into a business. And it was just kind of when like there wasn't many salon coaches around. It was really at the start of, you know, when coaching and mentoring started to become a thing. People stopped investing in classic education, like, you know, your TNA and stuff like that, and actually sort of thought, I'm going to actually ask people who are experienced in what I do, not just someone who's got a qualification on paper.
Yeah.
I actually don't have anything other than a Cert 3 hairdressing. So
there you go. But you know what? Most of the entrepreneurs in the world, like Richard Branson, never finished high school. Like, you know,
no, I left when I
Mark
was 15.
Zuckerberg never graduated from university. The list goes on and on. I think actually the founder of Hallmark Cards, what's her name?
That'd be a rich woman.
Yeah, I think she left school when she was 9.
Yeah, that's insane.
Right. So formal education doesn't necessarily equal success, and you know, success, I guess, in the future.
I mean,
I don't think they're correlated.
And I mean, I know for me, and even with the business coach that we both met through, like I went to him because I wanted what he had. I wanted to learn everything that he learned, and he was much the same. I don't think he's really done much either. I think he was pretty much self-taught. And but yeah, basically just find someone who's doing what you want to do and learn from them.
Yeah,
I think there's much more that style of education now.
I know that as soon as I make this next comment, I know your face is going to change a little bit because I know you're so passionate about it. The insurgence of new coaches into the industry. You're really passionate and happy to have them all join, right?
I mean, I hate you, Billy.
Look, okay, I'll make it easier for you if you like.
No, it's not that. Look, okay, so you try not to sound arrogant when you say this, but you need to understand where the people came from, and you need to really look deep into their background. I've been screwed over by one business coach who thankfully I was only with for 2 months, who, you know, very inexperienced woman. I basically paid 2 months up front, which was, I think, $4,000 or something, had nothing for 2 months. And then luckily at that time of my life, I was like, look, it's all a bit much. I'm getting married, blah, 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 I'm just going to leave. And another one which tried to sue me for, you know, thousands of dollars just for leaving her program. And I've found out since then she's been bankrupt multiple times, keeps changing her name to actually get out of things. There's just a lot of people that come in, and it's almost like they use coaching as a way to top up their income or something like that, but they don't actually have the experience and the know-how, and they're not great at managing their own businesses. So to me, that's not somebody that I want to learn from. There are some fucking awesome business coaches out there as well, like so many incredible ones, you know, using coaching, and Louise May's incredible, Larissa McCalman's incredible. Like there's so many incredible coaches out there. I just think do your research into, and, you know, think about where you're going to invest your money. But yeah, look into people's backgrounds.
Yeah, 100%. And I also think though that just because people have failed, I don't think disqualifies them.
100%. No, I mean, like I am very close friends with Julie Piantadosi as well. Very close friends. I talk to her all the time, and I know that she nearly went bankrupt when she was 19, I think 19, 20. She's one of the most incredible, probably one of the most top paid, most highly recommended coaches in the whole of Australia. And fucking wicked woman. So like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's it either. But when you kind of see a pattern forming, like, you know, you learn from those things and you grow from it.
Yeah, and what I'm finding as well is that, and I'll bring it. A lot of the people who watch and listen to this show is they're salon owners and whatnot. So we'll bring it back to the salon owner thing. But I think it is important to discuss this with salon owners. That I actually think that when you see coaching online, and you see not just in our industry but gym coaches and all that sort of stuff, and their advertisements on Facebook is like they're sitting on a beach with the tropical, you know, palm trees behind them with the sun out, and they go, wouldn't you like to be a coach? This can be your office, kind of thing. And I think a lot of people are sucked into that and go, that sounds amazing. I only have to work 4 hours a week and it's amazing. And what actually interests me about these new coaches that are coming on, and I'm new as well, so I'm not saying that, I've stood the test of time or anything, but what I find interesting is that you can pick them because a lot of people now are coming in, and equally as fast, you don't hear of them again. And I think because they come in thinking that it's all bells and whistles and it's going to be amazing, they're going to make heaps of money, work less, go traveling and work from a laptop. And then the reality is that you actually have to work your backside off to support your clients. And those pressures and stress you have in your business that you went through every day, now amplify it. Now go to sleep with 50 other people's problems and challenges and concerns on your mind. And I think that people are coming and going, and that's really how you want to, what I would do to predict a coach anyway, is see if they last at least the first 6 to 12 months, because it's really freaking hard. And if they have, then maybe they've got a little bit of, you know, a little bit of work about it.
I agree. The other things, I mean, I look for obviously people who align with amazing people like IHC who are, you know, fighting for the greater good of hairdressing and things like that.
Thanks for Sandy Chong, by the way.
Yeah, she's awesome, isn't she? Bloody love that
Yeah,
woman. She is the funniest woman. She's so dry. I just live for
so
her.
dry. So-
She's the best. But the other
She's
thing I look
awesome.
forward to is people who are constantly building new content. So, like what we've been working on for the first 6 months, well, the goal for the first 6 months of this year is re-recording a lot of old content, rebuilding a lot of things. We're actually getting a big website revamped and stuff like that. Look for people who are staying at the forefront of everything because this industry is ever changing. So, people who just kind of use the same old shit and the same old techniques and things like that are people that you're not really going to learn anything new from, or they're going to have an expiry. I always look for people who are kind of always moving forward.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, 100%. And one of the things, interestingly, I don't know if you saw this comment, because I know sometimes you're a bit fleeting on Facebook. Sometimes I see you on there all the time,
I'm
and then
not
other times you're like,
at all.
oh, where's Caitlyn gone?
There you go. I'm on there.
So someone posted, where was it? Maybe in AHC group. Thinking about getting a business coach. Does anyone have any recommendations? I'm sure it was business group. Or it might have been Secret Salon Society, something like that. And I don't know if you know a guy called David Watts. Do you know David Watts? Anyone listening to this podcast now, I know he will be, and I know he'll watch the video because he watches all my content. Him and his partner Noel, they own a business called Anton Hair. Noel is a coaching client of ours, but not Noel. Sorry, well, Noel is, I guess, but we work mainly with David. He is the funniest, most outgoing, like just biggest ball of energy. But better than that is that he is so kind-hearted and genuine, and he's always building people up online. He's always commenting on people's achievements. Like, he goes into all the different groups, the AFC, and I love it, right? And elevate each other. And at the moment, he's doing 30 days of Facebook Lives. If you want to go Anton Hair, check it out. He's doing 30 days of Facebook Lives. Yeah, he's hilarious, right? And he's getting such a big following from doing these lives. But the reason I bring him up is because when someone asked that question, he didn't just go, oh, check out such and such or whatever. He wrote this really, really long answer, and he broke down all the different coaches. He said, I researched and followed coaches for a long time. And he said, and there's a lot who have strengths and weaknesses. And so he said something about me. He said something about like Carissa and all the different coaches. And the one thing he said about you,
oh God,
was that you're a horrible person. No, he never said that at all. He said that you're fun, you're straightforward, and you're definitely one to look out for in the future. And so I thought that was a really long little monologue there, but he he spoke about you quite well, and I think he actually summed you up really, really well. I think you are a lot of fun. I think you are very straightforward.
There's no point being around the bush. I'm not here to tell you everything's wonderful if it's not.
Yeah. So tell me, how do you bring that personality into your coaching style?
I mean, it's the same as building your salon. Like, it's your brand personality as well. There's no point me trying to be you or trying to be Larissa or trying to be, Louise or something like that. I just am who I am. I'm going to attract people who are like me and who like how I work. Same as you would attract people like you. Like, I'm not a tech brain, so I'm probably not going to go to somebody like you or Larissa. I'm probably going to find somebody who works more in a different way, sort of thing. No offense. But like, I'm not tech savvy, so I'm not going to like that at all. So, I think that you just attract people that are like you. It's like when you are on the floor of your hairdressing salon or your beauty salon or something like that. You naturally attract people who like the way that you work, who connect with you, and who it's on another level. It's actually got nothing to do, I don't think, with what you actually teach a lot of the time. I think it's actually got to do with your energy and how you work together.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that essentially, like, you could go, you business growth strategies from any coach, realistically, but it's who you actually connect with, who teaches you the way that you like to learn, and how you communicate.
Gary V got asked an interesting question a couple of months ago I listened to, and it said he was at an event and he said, someone asked him, what's the best strategy in business? Like, trying to build your brand so that you appeal to more people and you try to, tick all the boxes, or just being authentically you, and which could offend some people and put them off. And his answer was that the short-term strategy is probably the first one. What was that?
So I offend heaps of people. I don't really care. I say fuck like it's going out of fashion. Like, if you don't like it, don't follow me. Fine.
But his answer was that the short-term strategy is probably the first one. But if you want to be in business for a long time, then authenticity and genuineness wins every single day, because people eventually see through it, right?
Yeah, totally. And I mean, even when I first, like, I bought my salon when I was 19 years old, paid just way too much for it. It was a terrible business, whatever. But like, my family obviously raised in a different generation, my parents, and they, it's, if you cater to the masses will come sort of thing. But what it was doing was I was working 100 hours a week, charging people $100 for colors that I should have been charging 200. And I was burnt out, I was tired, I was overworked, and I didn't actually like the clients I was servicing because they were tight asses. So
Yeah.
as soon as I kind of, and not to say that that's not everyone's, business model or demographic of where they work or whatever. If you want to do that, that's fine. But it didn't work for me. And so I think once you actually start just kind of changing your brand personality and being more authentically yourself and actually charging what you're worth, your life will change and your business will as well. But there's no point
Yeah,
trying to
cool.
be, because you're just going to attract the wrong people and you're not going to like them anyway. I was trying to be this
Exactly.
superficial, glam thing that's just not me at all. And, my business flipped on its head as soon as I started, owning my shit and being who I was, asserting myself.
So cool. So now we've segued into the salon space a little bit, which is cool.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a question around that because
Yeah.
it's almost like when I do these episodes sometimes, and we have these sort of controversial things being said. Like what you would say there could be controversial to some people.
Totally.
Be like, and I can read their minds, right? Because I know what they're thinking right now. It's all right for you to say that. You probably had like a big business and you're so confident and that's why you're a coach and blah, blah, blah. I can't do that because I'm in this town with these clients and this doesn't work for my business. I hear it all the time. No matter what we're talking about. It could be talking about Facebook ads where people go, Facebook ads don't work for me and my clients, or it could be Instagram. Oh, my clients aren't on Instagram, or it could be working on the business instead of in the business. I couldn't do that because of this. And it's like, I can almost read people's minds all the time. And so I know for a fact when you just said that, Dan, like, yeah, I just started charging more because I wasn't happy. And people were like, yeah, it's all right for you. I'm sure you can do that. So, but I know the reality is not that.
My clients, yeah. No, not at all. And I mean, I've got a salon in Mura that I work with, which is like, and she won't care that I say this, bumfuck middle of nowhere in Western Australia, like literally nowhere. And she's killing it, like absolutely killing it. I also have a client who's in the suburb of Brisbane that is lower socioeconomic. So packages work really well in her business. That doesn't work well for me. It's about finding what works for you as well. I'm not just going to sit here and go, everyone needs to charge $200 a haircut because it's not realistic. You know what I mean? It depends on the area, demographics, and you've got to find a coach who tailor makes things for you as well.
Absolutely. So let's go deeper into the salon. You are a big advocate for, I know you've just grown your team.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. Your coaching team. I know you've got two salons. One is for predominantly females, one predominantly men. I know you service both, but predominantly. And so your team is quite sizable when you collectively bring them all together. I know you have a philosophy around, good work-life balance and things like that. I know that's super important to you. So for people listening to the episode, what are your secrets and what are your tips and tricks, or what would be the three main takeaways? Like, how do you build a fantastic team? Not just how do you build a fantastic team, but how do you keep them motivated? And lastly, how do you then, once you have that team in place, how do you transition off the tool so you can work on the business and do the things that are important?
That's a very long question with lots of little things in it, but that's okay. We can do this.
Right. I try to make these as complicated as possible.
I mean, at the moment, I've got 6 in my coaching team. One's about to go on mat leave, and my general manager of 3 is actually going to open her own hair and beauty suppliers. So she'll be finishing up soon. So I've got a team of 4 in there. Basically, they support me. I'm the only coach in here. In my salon, I've got, I think, 14, made up of 2 coordinators, the rest are stylists and apprentices. Barbershops 3, so I've got 2 barbers and 1 apprentice barber as well. So look, people are changing, lifestyles are changing. Millennials are anyone, I think, who's born between, or who's between 9 and 39 or 19 and 39, is that right? Millennials are different. Millennials don't give a fuck about working for somebody. A job is just a pathway to get what they want. So it is. They care about their lifestyle. I think it's really admirable. Like, I think it's really smart. I work 3 days a week, and the rest, but work 3 days a week physically with clients. But I think you've got to really work with what your staff want and try and make their dreams happen and help their visions happen. Like, I've learned, and it's not a nice lesson, that I'm actually best at growing people so that they're then ready to go and do their own thing. It's hard. I grow people, I fill them with clients, they are amazing, and then they go and move on to another thing or another venture. And that's what I'm best at because, like I said, I'm a good trainer and a good leader. But like, we have 4-day-week rosters, so all of our seniors are on 4 days a week. Some of them work like sort of 32 to 35 hours, and they love it because they get a 3-day week every week. They're not overworked. They're not married to their job. Like, nobody wants to be anymore. Cost of living is expensive and stuff, so you've got to pay them really well. I make them work for it. I work them to the bone, but they get paid really, really well so that they don't want to leave and they don't want to do anything like that. So have good incentives and find the driver, really. It's really find what drives them. Some people it's time off, some people it's holidays, some people it's cash, some people it's, whatever. It's just different for everybody. But spend the time and actually ask them what they want. Make it happen for them.
Yeah.
My apprenticeship hated the industry because I had shit house bosses that never listened to me, never treated me well, never paid me bonuses, never paid me properly, never did anything for me. I was literally a dollar sign to them. That's all I was. They left it nearly wanting to leave the industry. And then when I started working for myself, and for years I was the same because that's how I was, I guess, raised in this career. But yeah, then you sort of start going, no, I actually care about the people I work with. They're not my friends. I absolutely don't have friendly relationships with my staff. They are my staff, but I love them. I care about them. So I'm going to do the best that I can to make their life happen and their dreams happen for them.
Yeah. What do you think are the biggest mistakes people make with their team?
Or look, I've been on both ends of the spectrum where it's like I've actually been an evil dictator boss. I've also been soft. You've got to find that balance in the middle.
Couldn't imagine you being an evil dictator.
Oh, really?
Couldn't imagine it. No, I could.
Rude. Now I'm soft. Now I have two managers that do all the shit for me because I'm actually so soft with it because I'm like, don't ask me that question because I don't want to answer it for you. But no, like, when I first came into business, again, it's how I was raised and I was a product of my environment. I had horrible stuff, horrible renter chairs renting for me who overtook everything. So all I did was be on the back foot all the time. And, and then I turned into this, really soft person because I just went completely the opposite way. But I think it's about finding that balance. You need to let your staff know what they're actually there for, what their job is and what their expectations are. There's so many people in this industry that don't even have contracts for their staff. Like you have to have all your expectations outlined. Otherwise they're going to come to work and not do anything. You have to have systems too. People have to run the systems. There was one more that I just had in the back of my head and now it's gone. No, I can't remember. It'll come to me later, I bet.
It'll come to you.
Yeah. There's heaps of gaps.
Wrong.
Everyone's got different strengths.
Yeah. Do you know Alex Sharpen at all?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's coming on my show actually. In what?
He talks about Primal Walk all the time.
Yeah. And he's got his podcast Momentum, right?
Yeah.
So he's coming on the show in a week, and so we're going to be doing this with him in a week. And but one of the things he's like, I really want to bring this up with him. I hope he doesn't watch this. I'm sure he won't. But so just give him too much of an insight. I want to catch him out. No. One of the things I want to talk to him about is with team management. He's so big on weekly meetings and weekly catch-ups and really giving. And one of the things I was listening to him actually this morning because I was doing my research before I had him on the show. I was listening to his podcast this morning, and he was saying if you look at a staff member or a team member, they do 40 hours a week, right? If you give someone 30 minutes of your time each week, that's only 1/80th of the time that they're giving you. And so he's like, you can't find 30 minutes for your team. And I think that's sometimes where salon owners go wrong as well, is they're so busy cutting hair, they're so busy doing facials or whatever it is, what industry they're in, that they don't take the time to actually nurture the relationships with their team.
Intentional investments of your time and effort is what your staff need from you. We're so strong on this. So we're actually running a short course, which is a salon management mastermind at the moment. So it's for salon owners and their managers to come in and learn what the roles are, because I think it's a pretty grey area. And obviously every management structure and business structure is different, but we have a 15-minute morning huddle. So 8:45 every morning. If you're one of the people that starts early, you're there. If you start later, you're not. We sit down and we talk about, appointment glitches in the day. So, 2 haircuts are going to be ready at the same time or things like that. We talk about individual goals because everyone has to have an individual goal to work towards a salon goal. It's not just about being like, hey, the salon's got to do $5,000 today. It's about, no, you have to do 1,200, you have to do 800, the juniors have to do 400 or whatever it is. Every single morning we have that every day. So it doesn't matter. I don't care who's there and who's not. It happens. And then our manager posts it in our team Facebook group so that it's there and everybody knows. We then catch up with them fortnightly. So my managers will catch up with my staff for half an hour fortnightly. And they basically just take over my office. I go work out. I've got a main office attached to my office. And they just sit down. It's 10 questions, really simple, just kind of keeps in touch with them. And then every 6 months I catch up with them. So it'll be the 6-month anniversary of when they started. We'll have a full 90-minute appraisal. So we sit down, we talk about pay rises, we talk about where they're at, what they're doing, what their goals are, things like that. And that's where things come up. I've decided I want to own a business, or I want to move to bloody Queensland, or I want to do whatever I want. But spend the time with them. It's not even that hard. We smash them out on a Friday. It's easy.
Yeah, exactly. And people want to be heard, right? Team members want to feel like they're part of the journey. They're not just a tool or a pawn in your own success. And it's not the Caitlyn Menzel show and everyone else is just a little pawn that you use to get what you want. People want to feel like they're part of the journey as well. They feel like they're valued, they're appreciated.
Yeah. part of your workplace culture too. And sorry, on that, we have team meetings every third Saturday. We have them in the salon because everyone works Saturday, so it's easier.
Is it mandatory?
Mandatory. The only
Love
time
it.
you get out if you're on holidays.
Yeah, because I hear it all the time from salon owners, like, oh, yeah, I was going to say, I hear it all the time, like, we go, oh, but we've got so many casuals, and, you know, I can't ask them to come in on those days. Yeah, you can. Yeah, because it's important. It's important that you do.
And look, if we don't have much to talk about, because we find, because we do have huddles, we sometimes don't have much to talk about. We still run the meeting. We just do like a team building activity or a communication exercise, or on Saturday we just did the Myers-Briggs personality test, which is a really cool kind of get to know everyone's personality. It's crazy to know who's the same and who's different.
They're
and what
spookily accurate. Like you go, oh, this is some bad buzz thing that some crazy psychologist or psychologist has cooked up in a corner somewhere, but you do it and you're like, this is insanely accurate. It's
so
nuts.
It was developed in the 1940s by a psychologist and her daughter, and it was absolutely unheard of for women to develop anything back then, but it's still the most accurate one to this day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, crazy.
Girl power.
I know, but yeah, we do heaps of fun stuff if we don't have much to talk about. We usually try and knock the negative stuff on the head early and then get on with the good stuff.
Awesome. So with this being said, good segue again. Caitlyn, you've done a few good segues without even knowing it in the podcast. Well done. Good segue into your topic that you're going to be talking about at Salon Growth, which is a masterclass in salon management. Yes?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, it's my passion. I love it, obviously. It's what I teach. I basically want to condense a whole heap of things that I teach in coaching into this, hour and a half session that I've got with you guys. But look, I'm really, really excited to cover things like, how do I word it? It's like there's such a stereotype around, hair and beauty workers are lowest paid in the industry. We're not really tradespeople. We're not this, we're not that. We have to work 100 hours a week to make money. We can't step off the floor because as soon as you do, our staff run around like monkeys freed from a cage and things like that. So I want to give some really, really relative, can't get my words out now. Some useful tools that they can take away.
Change the word.
Words. I don't know what word I was going to use, and I kind of blended words. I do that too when I talk really fast. But I want to give them. I don't want to just talk to them. I want to actually give them tools that they can take away from that day, implement straight away, and actually help them on their pathway to achieving what they want to achieve. So I think a lot of seminars and stuff that you go to, there's just a lot of information given at you, and you're kind of like, fuck, where do I start? I want to actually give them some really great tips and tricks and tools that they can implement straight away, and hopefully help them to attain their goals and help their team along the way.
It's so cool you just said that because we haven't even had this conversation. I have with one or two other people, but one of the things I'm really, really passionate about at the Salon Growth event is that I want people to walk away with genuine strategies that they have written down with step by step. This is what I'm now going to go and do in my business. Because I think a lot of conferences and events and things like that, you go away feeling hyped and pumped and like, yeah, that was awesome. I feel really great about it. And then you get back to your business, you're like, where do I start? And then because you don't know where you start, because you don't know where you start, you're back seeing Tony Robbins again the next year. And you're like, I need to see Tony again. Why do you need to see Tony again? Because they didn't actually do the things that, they were supposed to do. And so there's a fine line because I do want to make it hypey and fun and motivating and like high energy and all those really, really exciting things. But I also want to deliver real strategies that people can literally sit down and go bang, bang, bang. Caitlyn said to go back to my business and do step 1, step 2, step 3. And so you actually bringing that up just now is like totally one of the reasons, obviously, why I asked you to come and speak, because I totally believe in what you do, and I think you're a really, really good fit for the audience.
On the same path as well. Like we're all so different, but so similar in that way that we just want to give value. But give strategies. It's you don't want to walk away from something and be like, wow, that was great, but now what? I've got 5 pages and like nothing to do. So that's definitely something I want to make sure everyone walks away with something.
Awesome. And hopefully we have another big speaker coming soon.
I know you'll sell out.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that'll tip it for you.
we can't say anything just yet. And in fact, if it doesn't end up happening, we'll just come back to this episode and edit this little bit out. Who needs that person? We have Caitlyn Menzel. And so on that note, thank you so much for joining me this morning. It's been absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see you speak at the event. I think you're Saturday afternoon, just before the cocktail gala.
I'm actually excited to be last. Like I'll get them up and motivated, and I'm really loud, so they'll listen. It's good.
What? You're really loud.
They won't be tired.
Mind blown.
That'd be great. I'm so excited.
Yeah, awesome. So June 15, June 16, if you haven't got your tickets yet, go to salongrowthcon.com right now, grab your tickets. They are filling out fast. In fact, I think the top tier tickets are I think within their last 20% now, which is awesome. Only 20% tickets sold. Left in the top tier. It's going to be 1,500 salon owners, June 15, June 16 at the Gold Coast Convention Centre. Why wouldn't you come? It's at the Gold Coast in winter, like probably the most beautiful place in Australia at that time of year. You get to spend the weekend with the likes of Caitlyn, and Caitlyn will also be at the cocktail gala on Saturday night, having a few champagnes and mingling and answering all your questions. She'll also be doing an intimate roundtable as well, which is on top of her presentation. So she does her presentation on the main stage, and then for 50 people, she'll also be doing an intimate roundtable session where you guys can get really up close and personal with Caitlyn and ask her any of the hard-hitting questions like I've asked her today, and really put her on the spot and make her feel uncomfortable.
That's my favorite.
So Awesome. So if you've loved this episode today, if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell. And if you're listening on the podcast, what I want you to do right now is look down at your phone. It doesn't matter if you're on an Android or an iPhone, and take a screenshot of this podcast episode. Then what I want you to do is upload it onto your social platforms and tag myself and Caitlyn, who is not on Facebook anymore, so you'll have to find her at Caitlyn Menzel, the Summit Salon Coach, or Summit Salon Coach, I think it is. Yeah. Or on Instagram, where I know Caitlyn spends a lot of her time on Instagram. I won't mention your Snapchat handle. But you can tag Caitlyn and ask you any questions you like as well. So make sure you do that right now. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow with a new episode of the podcast, a new episode of the YouTube show. But Caitlyn Menzel, thank you so much for being on today. It's been so much fun. It's actually really early. Well, not really early. It's 8:30 here, but it's been an awesome way for me to start my day.
Awesome. Thanks
for joining me.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
See you, Caitlyn. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, if you love this video, please make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. And also, if you have not yet got your tickets for Salon Growth Con 2019, make sure you do. Go to the link that's in the description below, because I do not want you to miss out on this amazing event.